everybody, I'm Jareth, and today I am going to teach you how to make the best hot tamale balls that you've ever eaten. If you have never ate hot tamale balls, then here's a good chance, a good opportunity for you to make them. So, I can't take the credit for this recipe because this recipe is my sister-in-law's. And I called her and I asked her if she minded if I did the video. And she said she didn't mind at all, but I'm going to give her credit for it. Missy's her name. So leave a comment down below and say thanks, Missy, for sharing your recipe. So let's get started. Okay, you're going to need a half a pound of ground beef. You are going to need a half a pound of pork. I'm going to go ahead. Okay. You're going to need 3/4 cup of cornmeal. You're going to need 2 tablespoons of cumins. But I'm using a half a tablespoon here. So, but the 2 tablespoons has to be divided. So, you would need 2 containers. I'm going to put a tablespoon in this pot, and then I'm going to put a tablespoon in the bowl. Since this is a half, it takes 2 to make 1. Okay. Next, we're going to need 2 tablespoons of chili powder. The same thing divided. Tablespoon here, tablespoon there. Quite a whole tablespoon. Well, just a little bit left in there. Okay, so we are going to need 3/4 teaspoon of salt. We're going to need 1/4 or 1/2 of a teaspoon of cayenne pepper. I'm just going to add a heaping 1/4 is what I'm going to add. So next you need 2 cloves of garlic. So I have elephant garlic. So I'm just going to mash up that. I cut it into smaller pieces because I've already attempted to put a whole elephant garlic in here. And trust me, it didn't do too well. Okay, now that we got this in here, we're going to need to put a 1/3 cup of V8 juice into the meat mixture. Okay, we're going to need to put 2 cups of tomato juice in here. Now let's get our meat mixed together. I'm going to show you what it looks like. Can you see that? So I'm just going to mix this together. And the best way to do it is to just put your hands in there. I'm not a big hands-on person, but I'm out of gloves, and it's hard to find them gloves, people. So we're going to mix all this together. Okay, I'm going to let this sit for a second, and And then I'm gonna, ooh, my hands is greasy. So now I'm going to take my spoon and I'm gonna blend this up. The 2 cups of tomato juice. Mix the seasoning up. I'm gonna put it on the stove, heat it up, and let it simmer for 4 minutes. Okay, while that's simmering, now I'm going to make these into little meatballs. Make this about the size that, you know, you would want to do your meatballs. They don't have to be perfect. You know, just roll them. The cornmeal is going to help hold them together. And trust me, this is delicious. Okay, I've got my meatballs, my tamale balls rolled up. So now, you can make these smaller if you choose to, but this is how I'm going to do it for me and Todd. So now, my stuff has been simmering for 4 minutes, so I'm going to put these into the sauce. It looks like it's trying to boil on me, huh? You can do these in a crock pot, and you can cook them for 40 minutes. You just place the tamale balls into the sauce. Okay, y'all. Remember I told you it requires 4 cups? So these has been in here for a little minute. So I'm going to go ahead and add the 2 other cups of V8 juice to this. And in the process, I called my sister-in-law, and she said that she cooked it on the stove for 40 minutes on low, and then she put it in the crock pot because she took it to church. And she put it in the crock pot to keep it warm. So 40 minutes on the stove, and she said no lid. So I wouldn't stir this with a spoon. I would just shake it like that, and you'll roll the balls around. And so let's make something else. I am making another Mexican dish, and this is basically my own recipe that I just made up. So I am making a tamale casserole in a bowl. So these are some yellow corn tortillas that I have. So what you're going to do is you're going to get you however many. If you want to make the mini corn tortillas, you can use a muffin pan and put them in the muffin pans. And cut up the circle. You'll have to cut them to make them smaller, and you just put them in the muffin pan. So what we're going to do is, these are my pottery bowls. I told you that bowls are oven safe, microwave safe. They're just, pottery is just good all around. So I made these bowls when I was first starting out in pottery in college, and you'll look at the date, and 2009 when I made these bowls. What I'm going to do is, I have some melted butter or margarine. I'm going to base my bowl with this margarine. I take my corn tortilla. If it's not pliable when you try to cut it to make the mini bowls, then you can pop them in the microwave like I'm just going to have to do now. I placed my tortilla shells in the microwave for 20 seconds. And so it heated them up. And then I'm just going to put them in my bowls like that, like so. And then I'm going to baste the inside of the shell. Okay, so what I do is I use a weight to help hold the tortilla shell down, and the weight that I use is my glass fermenting things. So they're very usable besides just fermenting food. So I place them in here, and by placing them in here, guys, this is what it makes it look like a shape more. I'm making 3 bowls to where Todd can have one for lunch. And you want to preheat your oven to 375. So now I'm going to pop these in the oven for about 15 to 20 minutes until they're brown and crispy. Just watch the time. Everybody's oven cooks at different speeds, so not everybody is the perfect same. I know mine's not. So let me get these in the oven. And so we're going to saute these onions and bell peppers and a little bit of celery and just whatever. It's a seasoned blend that I had purchased. A mixture of my meat, and it's beef and pork in here. Okay, the seasonings that I added is the same seasonings that I used in my tamale balls. Except instead of 2 tablespoons, I just use 1 tablespoon. So everything that I put in the bowl to make the balls is what I've put in here in my meat mixture that I have. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and add my meat. To this mixture. And so I'm going to brown this meat around until it gets, you know, cooked. I'm going to pre-cook this meat in these onions. Okay, y'all, my meat is done. So up next, we're going to put this in a bowl, mix it up with some more ingredients, and get it ready for a casserole dish. I couldn't find my other stainless steel bowl. I don't know where it's at. Okay, I got my meat mixture in there. Now I'm going to add a cup of rice to this. Microwave rice pot. If you ain't got one, you're missing out. They're absolutely best. Got it from Walmart. So you want to mix all this up real good. And if you don't want to add rice to it, you can do something else. Make it your own recipe. That's what's so good about stuff. Just make it your own. And the reason why I'm putting it in this casserole dish, because I'm going to pop it in the oven for about 20-30 minutes. So now I'm going to put cheese on top. Okay, I'm going to put it in the oven. When this comes out the oven and I put them in our bowls, I'm going to top it with sour cream and a little bit of salsa. All right, now everything's finished. The balls, the tamale balls are done, and the tamale casserole that's served in an edible corn bowl is finished too. So let's put it together. My 2 tamale balls on my plate. So now I'm going to take my little bowl out. You take your weight out, and it makes a little cute bowl. So you place that down. And I'm going to take a piece of lettuce that was mine. It's kind of big. I'm going to put it in this bowl. Take some casserole. You can top this with black olives. Homemade salsa. I'm going to put a little dollop on there. Then I'm going to add some sour cream. Doesn't that look yummy, guys? You can add a Mexican cornbread to go with this. You can make a salad or whatever you would choose to go with this. So let's taste. Tamale ball up first. That's good. That's good. Woo, it's spicy. That's good. So you better stick to the fourth of a spoon of cayenne. So now let's try some of the tamale bowl. Shut up. That is delicious. And don't forget, the bowl's edible too. It's good, crunchy, and crispy. Couldn't ask for anything better. And if you have never made these tamale balls, you're missing out. Delicious. And this little tamale casserole bowl is out of this world. It's good too. And trust me, I'm not just saying that, because if it was no good, I would tell you no, it was no good. So guys, I appreciate you watching the video, and I thank y'all. And I'm not no big fancy chef, you know, simple and easy. But if you like me cooking and showing you some recipes, leave me a comment down below and I'll try to throw in some cooking videos. But I appreciate each and every one of y'all, and God bless.